Greetings, everybody. My name is Ankin Cinnamon, aka Sharisa, and I'm here with another video. This time speaking about the Ankh. The Ankh, as we know it, is the Egyptian cross. A lot of us know it to be representing the key of life, opening different concepts and things that people don't really talk about or that we don't know. The Ankh represents the union of the female and the male, this being the womb and this being the phallus. And together they create their offspring. But other people have different ways of explaining this. Not everyone explains it the same, but if you really think about it, it's similar. We need to learn to stop arguing and make more connections and realize that everybody has different perceptions or different ways of connecting to source or connecting to processing information as you'd have it. So yeah, the Ankh represents our life, eternal life, and the Ankh is the key, that opens the door to the mysteries of life. My experience learning about the Ankh is my name, my spiritual name is Ankin Cinnamon, and for those of you who don't know who Ankin Cinnamon is, Ankin Cinnamon was the sister and the wife of Tutankhamun. A lot of people will relate her to Mary Magdalene, where Mary Magdalene was the wife of Jesus. For those that do know this bit of information, Mary Magdalene was the wife of Jesus, along with her sister Martha. But that will be for a whole other topic. I usually don't dive too deeply into Bible and stuff, but I'm a type of person, I love to make connections. So Mary Magdalene would be, you would say that Ankin Cinnamon would be relatable to Mary Magdalene, who a lot of people would call Mary Magdalene a whore. They don't have a lot of kind words for Mary Magdalene. However, Ankin Cinnamon, from some of the stories that I know, Ankin Cinnamon, they would say she was the reason that Tutankhamun died. There's many different stories. There's their advisor, I killed them, all different types of stories. But Ankin Cinnamon, just like Mary Magdalene, has been swept underneath the rug. Not a lot of people talk about her. You don't really know. And so just like Ankin Cinnamon is swept under the rug, so is the Ankh. The Ankh is also not only representing the key to life, it's also it's also resurrection. When you are asleep for so many years and the information that you're being told isn't is making your DNA or you dormant, this type of information that you receive when you're being introduced to the Ankh is a resurrection, because you start to learn about alchemy, you start to learn about the different affirmations or the different techniques that the ancient Egyptians used. Not only the ancient Egyptians, but ancient Africa, because we have to know that that's the connection. When we talk about Egyptians, we're really talking about our African ancestors. And I don't like to use the term African because to me it means to separate. I'll introduce to you the terms that I use. For Black people, I use Nubian, Tamarayans, but we'll get into that because sometimes it's a little bit too much for one video to just dive into everything. We're going to have to separate them and break into them one by one. So today it will be about the Ankh and my experience with the Ankh. So when I first started introducing myself and my children to different information, outformation as you'd have it, it was the Ankh. And even from a teenager, when I went to Black History class, when they were talking about slavery, they would always break into an intermission where you seen like the pyramids and a big huge ankh, and I would always want to get to that part. I would listen to the other things they're presenting, but it was like my heart wanted them to hurry up and get to explaining the ankh, and at that time they never did. So, fast track in my life, I got into certain things that shouldn't have, which I'll discuss later on as I feel more comfortable. But it was during that time that I got into it. Hi, Papa Bubs. You're coming to interrupt your mama. Okay, we'll move on. It's because I can't really say my baby's an interruption. You okay, Ray? Yeah. Okay. Um, during that time where I was getting mixed up into things I wasn't supposed to, I had went to a mall and I saw a Ankh pendant, and there was crosses. No, there was crosses. Go ahead, play, Bubs. There was crosses, but this Ankh pendant stood out to me. Like, it stood out to me, and at the time I told who I in a previous video I told you I would not want to call this person a mate. Now that I know what mates and life partners are, but this person was with me, and I told him I want that, and he looked at me like, you want it? Okay, like he didn't think nothing else of it. And then a few weeks later, I made contact with someone who seemed to understand the Ankh, because I was with a friend who was wearing a cross, and they asked her, "Why are you wearing that?" And then I looked at the her chain and I said, "Yeah, I want the one with the circle," because I wasn't aware the proper term for it then. And the man smiled. He's like, "Don't worry, you'll have it." And maybe give a year or so or a few months. I think maybe about 6 7 months later, or four. It wasn't too long after I left the person who I was with, and then I ended up getting into the ancient Egyptian information, which I ended up obviously wearing an ankh, drawing millions of ankhs like as my footnotes for things, referring to the ankh all the time and just breaking into what it meant. And it's funny because first I just kept seeing it. Yes, ankh. And my mommy's wearing it. Yep, I'm wearing an ankh right now. Yes. Did mommy make this? Make it for you. No, Kiki didn't make it for me. Mommy made it for herself. Can you go get your brother and sister to make you something to eat, a snack? I don't want a snack. You don't want a snack? You want to come and pair with me? Yeah. Okay, come, because you're making me nervous. Okay. You say hi? Hi. Hi. Okay, so getting back to the topic, yeah, the Ankh for me, it literally was a key to open up the many mysteries that I did not know, but it opened me up, because then I started to learn different things about my personality and about myself that I had never known. I was the type of person, I'm very nurturing and I'm loving and I'm caring, but sometimes I can come off detached as an Aquarius. But really, I don't want to be. It's just that I feel pain in a certain way that I try to shut it off. I try to numb myself to it. So my way of numbing myself to it is to be a little bit detached. And I started to learn those things about myself. I started to learn that I would pick up on other people's feelings and sometimes think that it's my own. So it would be really hard for me to shake that, and I'd be wondering, why am I so down and in the dumps like that? But it's because I'm, especially when I'm around other people, they may not be doing it on purpose, or maybe they are, but their feelings are I'm starting to feel them, and I'm starting to not be able to be in my own happiness, because it doesn't take too much for me to be happy. I don't have to have millions of bucks to be happy. I don't have to have a lot. I know how to naturally I know how to attract to myself what I need, but when I'm absorbing people's different energies, it can boggle me down. And I started to learn that about myself. I started to learn that I'm going to need to care for myself, because in all my past relationships that didn't work out, the key component is that I wanted the person to love me the way I loved them. But what about how I loved myself? It spoke volumes. It's not that I don't love myself, but I wasn't showing myself that attention that I needed. I didn't need to go through a whole bunch of heartache and pain to prove to somebody that I loved them. It like, and this was the my Ankh moment for me. This was what showed me that things that I needed to work on. I need to work on self-love and self-care. The littlest things, like I still till this day cannot manage to make sure that my toes are painted. These are little things. Make sure that my toes are painted. Make sure that I used to do this more often, like take my baths, and because I shower, but to take moments to decompress and and sit in a bath and put my oils and stuff like that. Now as a mom, it's like very hectic. I take a quick shower, if I, and I quickly cream myself. It's not the care that I should be putting into myself, and I'm learning that that's very important. Connecting with my guides, making sure that I'm doing my affirmations, boosting my vibration, because during the day a lot does go on, and you need to make sure that you always set the tone for yourself. Make sure you're good, and this is part of what I learned when I got introduced to the Ankh. Funny that it seems like it doesn't connect, but this is what I came to realize, because like I said, it was like a key that opened the door to many different concepts. Not only did I learn about ancient Egypt, I started to learn about Africa as a whole, and how it connected to ancient Egypt. It's not separated. You can go many places, many different countries, and find pyramids. You can go to China. You can go to Ghana. You can go many different places and see this. But we're taught that these main things are in Egypt. We don't understand that before the Pangea, everything was one. So that would be another topic as well. Ray, you're making me nervous. Come here. So with the coming to the closing of this video, because I just wanted to do a brief explanation of the Ankh, and just explain. We all know that in my other video I spoke about the amethyst, my experience with it. Well, in this necklace I had used amethyst, malachite, clear quartz, and turquoise. Turquoise to me helps bring about spiritual relationships, friendships that have meaning. So when I see a turquoise stone and I'm carrying it with me, in my mind, I'm going to meet very spiritual people who are just as in tune as I am, or even more, that will help me on my journey. And we can exchange certain things with each other. Loving, loving energy, encouragement, stuff like that. And anytime I add any crystal quartz to anything, it's to amplify the energies of the other stones. It's to activate them. It's to activate the fact that I do want to meet spiritual people, have friendships that are more connected in spirituality, have relationships that are more connected with spirituality. Malachite, which whenever I mention the name, I think of the angel Michael, but I have to do my research more to see if this stone does connect to him. But whenever I say malachite stone, I think of my angel Michael. And like I said, it helps deal with childhood, past trauma. And so in connecting it, any friendships that were hindered due to childhood trauma, or any childhood relationships that need to be repaired, combining this will also help with that. But any childhood trauma that prevents you from making strong connections with people will be healed. And this is what my intention for this particular necklace was, to have protection over these friendships, these relationships, as I try to nurture them and make them grow. And of course the Ankh is the key to do this, to open the door to this. The Ankh is also my protection as well, to protect my male and female aspect of myself, to make sure that I'm merging them and that I'm not afraid to acknowledge that I have masculine side to me, and to make sure that it doesn't overshadow my femininity as well. So there you have it about the Ankh. You can comment in the section below if you would like me to go further into into explaining about the Ankh. Once again, like I said, the amethyst is a protective stone. It's also linked to the crown chakra. It's helpful in purifying the mind and clarifying it of any negative thoughts. It's also associated with abundance. Clear quartz is clear quartz. It helps with psychic abilities as well too. And like I said, it's like an activator. Mom, yes, baby.
Where is my tablet?
Your tablet? Check in the Keyshawn's bed. Or ask Kiki. But I think it's down in Keyshawn's bed.
Mom, maybe I will
just be careful.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So the turquoise, like I was explaining, is it's also an abundant stone, but it for me, when I first started learning about turquoise, I learned that it helped build strong, firm friendships. And one of the first friendships you need to build is with yourself. People will think that I'm silly, but I enjoy being to myself. Like, I like going for walks on my own. I like going to the mall on my own. And I was saying that, oh, you like to come to the mall with me? Yes, I know you do. I was even saying I have to take myself to the movies, but my children would my children want to come. Yes, my children want me to go with them. So I'm going to cater to that first. But I definitely want to start taking myself on dates, doing things that are... You want to go on a date with me?
Yeah.
Okay. That's always fine too, Bubba's. Yeah, doing things so that I find, like, when I'm on my own, sometimes things, signs or different synchronicities just pop up, but it doesn't mean it doesn't pop up while I'm doing my daily activities with my children, because just the other evening, it was the wrong time, but when I looked at the oven clock, it said 11:11. And for maybe like a good year, going on 2 now, that's all been happening to me. I keep on seeing 333, 222, 555, 1010, 1111, 1212, like different numbers, 11, like 1111. Like, it just is showing me that I'm transforming right now. It's like the phoenix rising right now. So I know that I tend to... This is something about me. I tend to ramble on because this video was really about the Ankh. But yeah, comment in the section below if you would like me to go into more detail about the Ankh. And yeah, we'll don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. And until next time, my name's Unkin Cinnamon. Peace, love, and harmony.